When it comes to the buyer side, what are some of the biggest things you've learned from PE on these companies, these PE firms that are looking at acquiring that sellers should know, other than what we've already mentioned?
Yeah, so there's a few interesting pieces, and in my book, I talk about the 15 reasons why a private equity firm in particular would not buy you. And some of them you've spoken about, like too much owner dependencies, massive lack of recurring revenue. You hear these terms all the time, but it's the detail beneath what that means. And I suppose the whole headline is private equity only looks at a business through the lens of risk and upside, right? If there's too much risk, meaning, if I pay you a lot of money and you walk out the door, Jared, tomorrow, then the business fails. Or you've got one customer that's driving 25% of your revenue. And if they are not contracted for 3 years or whatever, then, I'm not going to give you value on that revenue. So there's all those things. That's the risk quotient. But then on the upside, they want to see a business model that's predictable, repeatable, and sustainable. And I do more work on business model change or business model revision than I probably do on anything else. So everyone thinks, oh, you talk about exiting. Yeah, but I'm really actually just making the companies better. So if you realize that's what they're going to be looking at, and then probably the third part is the growth story, or I sometimes call it the kind of the vision that goes into the future. So you want to be able to make that really compelling. So there's no risk. It's a well-built machine, and look at the opportunities that it has. Whether I keep running it or you do, if you package all of that up, then that's going to be a really compelling thing that a sophisticated buyer is going to want to bite at. Okay. The other thing I'll say, and I talk about this a little bit in the book, we used to have this term in certainly one of the PE firms I work with, which was called the prize versus the prey. And this is looking at a business and to some extent the founder through those terms. All right. No one wants to be a prey founder. When you hear the definition, you're not going to like it. But the idea is that a prize founder is someone who understands everything we've just spoken about for the last, half an hour or so. Build a valuable business. They understand how the game is played. They're investable, right? A prey, equally as compelling to me, because I might still like your business, but I'm just going to pay you a lot less for it because I know I have to do the work. And basically a prey is the person doesn't know where their value is. They haven't optimized it. There's something valuable here because I'm going to buy it. But, I would have paid you probably 20, 30, 40 million more had you have spent a couple of years on it. And the other thing is there's an arrogance a little bit sometimes and the arrogance comes from fear. So the founder turns up and I look at this thing I've built, look how great I am. And they posture. And you can see it when they walk into the boardroom. And you go, I remember we'd have people leave the boardroom in some of these deals. And we go, pray. I look at them. They have no idea what they're about to walk into. Absolutely no idea. Yeah. And that's, it's terrible to say that happens. And I don't think it comes from being malicious or evil. I just think it's, as I said, it's unapologetically about money.